Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 4th. You have this card that says, Full Moon, Surrender to the Divine. You also have this gibbous moon. It says, you are very close to achieving your goal, which is pretty interesting because a lot of people have been getting cards this week that would really represent being very close to accomplishing a goal or very close to accomplishing something they've been working on. What you could be accomplishing is maybe something that you've been working towards for 16 years at least. And, I say that because of Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto going into Aquarius, and, it's been in Capricorn. And so on November 19th, it officially moves into Aquarius to stay. And, I think that a lot of people have been working towards something or on something. It could even be something personal where you've been working on yourself in some way. And that could be where these results are kind of coming from. And, again, this could be personal work, personal development work, things like that. But let's see. There's definitely some sort of goal. You have the Ace of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Swords is like a victory or a big success that could be coming in for you. But one thing I will say here, Gemini, is that you go Ace of Swords to the Magician. Ace of Swords to the Magician, to me, is a little bit different because this definitely says, this would be more your truth because the Ace of Swords can represent your truth. The Magician is about living your truth in the sense that he is the card of reinvention and reinventing yourself. He has that snake wrapped around his waist and it's eating its own tail, which is the Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros represents reinvention. So, I think that a lot of you could be more stepping into your truth in the sense that you are living your life as the person that you really are, deep down inside, right? So, again, you could be exposing things about yourself. And again, we're not talking about, exposing things in a bad way. We're talking about just, kind of enjoying yourself more or kind of choosing to do the things that you actually want to do in your life. And I feel this is, of course, going to lead to a victory or a good thing. You have the Eight of Cups, and again, this makes sense based off of what I just said because the Eight of Cups would be you cutting things out or walking away from things that no longer serve you, and it says that you're maybe changing who you are. You're not. I don't think you're really changing who you are because if it's the truth, then it's always been the truth, but maybe you're just revealing who you are. That might be a better way to put it, right? And so you could be revealing who you are on a deeper level and, kind of not caring what people think, which I think would be a good thing for you. But the Eight of Cups would be choosing to do less of the things that you don't want to do. I always say, of course, there are always going to be certain obligations that we have in life that we just can't get out of. But for the most part, it's can you eliminate things that no longer serve you? Or are there certain things that you can eliminate? And that's what I'd be looking at with the Eight of Cups, living more of a life of your truth. You have the Ace of Cups. Again, this could be a side effect of doing all of this because the Ace of Cups, number one, could be love. And you definitely could have love coming in. I do feel love energy in this reading. But the Ace of Cups is also a flow. It is your emotions overflowing, or it's the creation of flow, right? The cup can just reach down into the water below it and fill itself back up. And so a lot of you could be focused on doing or working on things that create more flow. Also, when you live your truth, obviously your life is going to flow more because you're living the truth. And it's just that simple here, Gemini. But let's see. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Six of Swords. Yes, Ace of Swords can represent a sacrifice. There's this palm frond right here. There's an olive branch over here. Palm fronds in the tarot, they can represent survivor energy, but they can also represent sacrifice. And the Six of Swords can represent moving on to calmer shores. But the woman in this child in this boat, they are leaving everything behind them behind. And they're completely starting over on the calmer shore. So they're just hoping for a brighter future. And what do you know? You end with the sun. And the sun is a card of a bright future. So I feel your future is bright here, Gemini. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Knight of Pentacles. And I feel like something took a long time, is what I would say. The Eight of Cups is walking away from things that no longer serve you. It's kind of funny because I feel Pisces energy here. I'm a Pisces, obviously, but I'm always very critical of Pisces because in the Pisces readings because it's like sometimes I think it takes a lot for Pisces to give up on something. And maybe this is true for you as well, Gemini, right? You're going to have to tell me. But, I feel like it takes a lot for you to give up on something like a person or place or a thing. And, I think this Eight of Cups is like you finally walking away from something that took a long time to walk away from. And, I think it's hard for you to give up, which is not a bad thing. That is a good thing. I think in some ways, obviously, it's like if you're beating your head against the wall for 20 years, that's not a good thing. But, again, for the most part, I think not giving up is a good trait to have. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups. Yes, definitely more flow. And that could be the other thing as well. It's like if something isn't working, you finally have gotten to the point where you're walking away from it. And this is going to create more flow in your life, which is good. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Koi fish spirit, says there's always enough. You have this bee spirit, says sweet results await. Love it. Definitely could be attracting a lot of abundance with the Magician also showing up in this row. And I feel like you could be getting better results for the work that you're doing, which again, a lot of people have been getting this. I'm like, part of me, like according to Chris's crappy astrology here, part of me feels that Pluto in Capricorn is just hard work for hard work's sake, right? Just based off of all the readings I've done for the past few years, it just seems to me like people are just working hard to work hard and not getting a result. But I think the transition from Pluto into Aquarius could be making it so that people start working, Pluto in Aquarius is more like innovation or innovative work. So people could be focusing more on what's important. That could be producing better results, like on a very simple level. You have the King of Cups here, the Magician, and the Three of Wands. I feel a little bit of love for some of you. Could be any sign. I think that the King of Cups is just an emotionally stable person. So it could be any sign that you're attracting, but I do feel for some of you, this is a person. I also feel what's more important about this reading is that it's talking about your feelings, like what you feel the truth is and the person you want to be. And the King of Cups has explored his emotions to a very deep level. And so for a lot of you, I feel this is saying that you are kind of like exploring your emotions, but you're also maybe living your emotions in a certain way, which again, I think is good. Now you have the Magician, probably your most important card here. I feel like you are reinventing yourself. Again, I actually don't think that's true. I don't think you're reinventing yourself. I think that you are exposing the truth, in a lot of ways. I think you are just showing who you really are. Maybe that's a better way to put it. And I feel like people are going to be a little bit surprised by you in the future. He has mastery over all the suits in the tarot, but I kind of get the feeling that people are surprised by like what you're capable of, which I think happens a lot to Gemini. Geminis, are very quick-witted. I feel like Geminis are considered very smart as well, but it's like maybe people don't always see that Gemini. Maybe they see the other one, right? And I feel like you're kind of showing people your smart side is the energy I get off of this card. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, of course, is a card of expansion and growth and expanding out into the future. So I just see a lot of growth for you. You still have Jupiter in your sign until June 25th of 2025. But even after, I always say that even after Jupiter leaves your sign, usually that's when you get the benefits, when the planet leaves, because it's like you're learning when the planet is in your sign, and then when it leaves, it's like you're implementing what you learned, and that's causing the effect. So a lot of you could be doing a lot of growing. I do see a lot of growth in this reading. With the King of Cups, you have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords says get out of your head. And so I feel a lot of you, this is maybe one of the things that you have to do is just not overthink things. I feel like you need to believe in your own confidence or something like that as well is popping into my head. Like maybe you need to believe that your ideas are good ideas and deserve to be worked on. And that's kind of what I feel here going across to the Eight of Pentacles. It's like, I think Geminis could have very good ideas for like work, business, career, whatever it is you do. It doesn't matter. It could even be your personal life, but something is popping into my head about needing to believe that your ideas are good. Just that simple. With the Magician, you have the Four of Cups. Yes, again, very similar energy because he's been disappointed by the results that he's getting in front of him. And he has a new opportunity right here, but he needs to embrace that new opportunity. He also needs to realize that he has all the ingredients necessary for success. I look at the Four of Cups as a card of attracting ingredients. He has attracted these three cups, which contain the ingredients for success, but he needs to mix them all together and pop them in the oven and make something happen. So instead of looking at your failures or, your past failures as failures, I think you need to look at them as ingredients that could bake a cake for you, Gemini, and you just need to mix everything you've learned together and pop it in the oven. With the Three of Wands, you have the King of Wands. Yeah, I would say that you've had a fire sign popping up in your readings. And again, if you're attracting love, it could be more of a fire sign person, but they could still have some King of Cups traits. They could be very emotionally stable, or they could be very emotionally connected. But, again, King of Wands is like a boss. So you could be attracting a real boss here. I also feel like you could be becoming a boss or bossing up in some way. And I'm pretty sure I've said that to you before in readings. So it seems to me like it's time for you to boss up. You have next in the area of messages from your future self, you have this impulse card and this receive card. I feel like you need to receive impulses with these two cards, or you need to trust your impulses. They could be, your feelings could actually be your intuition. And I feel like you need to be willing to receive those things, because we have the Seven of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Cups. But you also have the Three of Wands in the last row. Three of Wands is my card that says, what are you waiting for? It can represent waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. The story of the Seven of Wands is that he has this like shoe and this boot on, and so he has two different shoes on, and it kind of says that he feels like he had to rush out of his house, and he wasn't really ready, or he didn't feel ready to defend his position at the top of the hill. But really, the truth of the matter is that he's as ready as he's going to be. So I feel for some of you, there's something that you really need to go for here, like something you want to create or something about yourself. It could be you revealing the truth of who you are, right? And the Seven of Wands really says you are as ready as you're going to be, so you might as well do it now. And I feel that's what the Seven of Wands is saying. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction as well. It says the more you believe in yourself, which I kind of said already, with being confident in your ideas, the more you believe something is going to work, the more likely it is going to work with the Seven of Wands. You have the Page of Wands. Again, another kind of impulsive card. He isn't really maybe impulsive, but he does follow his inspirations. So if something inspires him or excites him or something motivates him to take action, then he takes action on whatever that is. And so I feel for a lot of you, this is kind of saying that you do need to follow your inspirations and maybe your impulses, because you might just kind of have a intuitive feeling that you should work on something going up to the Eight of Pentacles, or that you should take a leap of faith going over to the Fool card. And you also have the Sun in the last row. The sun is a spotlight. The sun shines a light on things that we need to pay attention to. So this could be as simple as your attention being drawn to something, and your attention, like if you keep thinking about something, especially like when you're in the shower or if you're daydreaming, if something pops into your head, that could be very intuitive. And that to me is true sun energy, when we just have those kind of random thoughts, or if you're like going for a walk and you just start thinking, like daydreaming about something, then those are the things that we have to move towards with the Page of Wands. And that's what I would encourage you to do here. You have the Five of Cups. I do feel like people are thinking about past disappointments. We have a lot of retrogrades at the end of the year, and these retrogrades definitely could be making us think about things that didn't work out from the past, but really the universe wants us to turn around and be grateful for what we have, and then we get this bridge and this castle. I always say the fives have very easy solutions in the tarot. So, being grateful for what you have is the solution to the Five of Cups, and it's a very easy solution as well. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, again, is something new. We see a lot of these, two pages now in this row, and we also have three aces, technically, and this is all very fresh, new energy, and even the Fool is a brand spanking new beginning. So it looks to me like some of you could be taking a leap of faith towards a new beginning. This could also be a new person, and, this to me looks like communication with a person. I'm wondering if you are going to be communicating with a person. The Seven of Wands makes me a little bit nervous, because usually Seven of Wands people are, a little bit guarded or a little bit closed off. I kind of get the feeling, again, that this person with the Nine of Swords, they maybe have had a lot of negative experiences, so it might take them a little bit longer to open up. I'm still not sure how I feel about this yet, but we'll see. With the Page of Wands, you have the King of Cups again. So you have a lot of repeating cards, or here and then here. Repeating cards are good in readings. I look at them as kind of like confirmation for your journey or confirmation for your path. But this tells me that this person will probably take the risk. So again, if you're dating or meeting new people, even if this person is a little bit guarded at first, I do feel that they eventually will tap into this like Page of Wands, lighthearted, kind of like more fun energy. So, take it how it resonates. With the Five of Cups, you have the King of Pentacles, sorry, the Too Many Cups cards. The King of Pentacles is a card of wealth or building wealth or creating stability. And he is also a card of your skills. So you have the Magician, and we were kind of talking about how the Magician has mastery over all the suits. He has these grapes on his cloak, and the grapes in the tarot represent having a skill that is difficult for most people, but you can do well. So it kind of says that you have skills that could make you very successful, and you need to tap in and use those skills so that you can be successful. And that's exactly what I would do with the King of Cups energy here. Or King of Pentacles, sorry, I keep wanting to say King of Cups. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card that says seek guidance in this. It says it is time for a different perspective. You also have the Say Yes card. There you go. It says now is the time to be open and receive. The whole reading kind of said that you have to be open to your truth, right? And again, if this could be a person as well, making you an offer. So it could be saying just say yes and be open to receive it, right? Especially with that Seven of Wands. And the whole it's time for a different perspective thing is the Three of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Again, being ready for expansion, being ready for something new, even if you feel like you're not ready. Again, I think perfection could be a little bit of a problem here. So I think being willing to be messy is something that this reading is encouraging, and not needing things to be perfect, right? You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Sun. The Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. So this reading looks really good for money as well, especially if you've been putting work into something for a long period of time. This could say that you are increasing your wealth or you're increasing your earnings, and obviously that would be a good thing. Eight of Pentacles is diligent work, and if you have been working on something diligently, I feel this is really good. I also get that this could be something where you are putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. So if you've been working on a lot of different pieces of things that you've been putting together, then you could be getting a lot. You could be increasing your wealth with the pieces. So it's like maybe you've been working on a project or multiple projects, and now you're mixing it together. I see in my head, and that could be the thing that makes you successful. You have the Fool. There's definitely some sort of risk or leap of faith that you're taking, especially with the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, he is kind of taking a risk. He's defending his position at the top of the hill. He doesn't feel ready, and that's the risk he's taking. So it's like you're as ready as you're going to be for a new beginning, and I feel the Fool is saying it's time to take the leap of faith. He has this tiny little sack on his back. And that tiny little sack says he has everything he needs right here. He is more than prepared for his journey. He's about to go through the whole entire major arcana, this big, long journey to accomplish something. And so I feel like you are as ready as you're going to be for a new beginning. The other thing about the Fool is that he needs to be willing to look foolish. And sometimes I think in life, it's like we have to be willing to not be perfect, and we have to be willing to maybe make a fool of ourselves. But, I always say, anyone who has ever accomplished anything has looked like a fool many times, right? When you think about any famous geniuses out there, right? Everybody called them crazy before everybody realized that they were right. So, that's kind of what I'm getting off of the Fool. It's you need to be willing to look crazy or foolish, even though you are the one that's right. And, I think you need to think about that. You have the Sun. The Sun is the best card in the deck, makes the whole entire reading more positive. Like I said, I feel like you need to pay attention to your attention, whatever your attention is guiding you towards, but really just really good energy. I think, you're going to be very happy in the future. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Cups, focus, I would say, it's coming up in the good stuff, which is good, but, I read intuitively, and while I think this is good for you, I also feel that you do need to stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish, or, you need to stay focused on the direction that you're going in your life. That's going to be very important for you. I also feel like you need to focus on, just, your vision. He has a vision. He is dreaming of something, but he is thinking about all the good things and bad things that could possibly happen, which is true for everything that we're going to do in our life. But he needs to just choose one thing, the good stuff, and focus on that. And I feel like you need to make the good outcome your focus. With the Fool, you have the High Priestess here. The High Priestess could be about trusting your intuition. Again, very intuitive reading. I think you're getting these impulses, like we said on this impulsive card or whatever it said impulse. So don't confuse your intuition with impulses. I think it's the word impulses is kind of sometimes like negative, right? Like if we talk about a person who is impulsive, that's not always a good thing. But I feel like these are not impulses. I'm like, what I'm wondering, and I don't know because I'm not really getting anything more on this, but I'll just say it anyway. Is like what I'm wondering if you're wondering if you are being impulsive, like especially in love. Like maybe you have a history of being impulsive in love, and maybe you meet a new person, and it's like now you're saying to yourself, am I just being impulsive, or do I really feel something for this person? And I feel this is saying like tap into your intuition. It will provide you with the answers. With the Sun, you have actually two cards want to come out here. Two of Wands and the Magician, yes. Definitely living your truth. Two of Wands is about leaving a comfort zone and kind of like stepping into a new world. And, again, if you're reinventing yourself, then you are definitely stepping into a new world. And that's what I would do with those cards. But let's see if anything else wants to come up here. You have this Choices card. I do feel like you have a choice. This is like I would move towards something new. Maybe you've been feeling stuck for a little time. I always look at this right here, these two legs that are stuck in this board, as you kind of like overthinking a choice. And so I feel like you need to make a decision. I would pick the new path here. You can't make this up. You have this intuition card, so definitely time to trust that intuition of yours. You have this principle card. This card kind of reminds me of the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card of like morals, and I think that you have certain principles that you want to live by, and I feel like you need to use your principles as your guiding light. Next, you have this idealism card. Yeah, nothing is perfect, right? So if you're waiting for things to be perfect with that Three of Wands, nothing will ever be perfect. You just have to make your move now. And finally, you have this fortune card. Yeah, I feel like there are good fortunes that are coming in for you with the Sun. This also is like the Sun. It's Sun in Leo, this card. So, a lot of you, a lot of Sun energy and a lot of future energy as well. I don't remember exactly what I said about it at the beginning of the reading, but I said something about your future. And I feel like these Sun cards are really talking about like a bright future. I think that's what I said. So there you go, Gemini. Looks really good. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.